You know how some families have those unspoken things? Like everyone at the dinner table kind of knows something, but no one ever really says it out loud. The silence becomes a language of its own. Now imagine that, but instead of a small family gathering, it's one of the most famous families in the world, and instead of gossip whispered behind closed doors, the entire world is watching, waiting, guessing. That's the royal family. And right at the center of it, once again, is Meghan Markle. You've probably heard all kinds of things about her. Opinions on every side. Some people say she broke the rules, others say she broke free. Some think she's brave, others think she's calculating. But no matter what side of the conversation you're on, there's one thing almost everyone can agree on: she changed the way we look at the royal family. But there's more to the story. Lately, there's been this buzz, this lingering rumor, that Meghan's holding on to something. A secret. Not just a minor family disagreement or a misunderstood moment, but something that, if it were ever spoken out loud, could shake the royal institution to its core. It's been called the bombshell. A truth that, if revealed, might turn tradition on its head. Now, the thing about secrets is, they don't always come with loud announcements. Sometimes, it's the quiet moments that say the most. And Meghan? She's had a lot of quiet moments lately. The kind of silence that makes people lean in and wonder, what's she not saying? Let's take it back for a second to that Oprah interview. It wasn't just a sit-down chat. It was one of those global moments where time kind of freezes. Everyone remembers where they were when they heard it. Meghan sitting next to Harry, both calm but clearly emotional. They spoke about things that had never been spoken out loud before, not like this, not with this level of honesty. And they didn't yell. They didn't accuse. But they did reveal. They talked about how hard it was inside the palace walls. How Meghan felt isolated. How there were conversations, very disturbing ones, about their unborn son's skin tone. And then there was that moment, almost whispered. Meghan said, "There's a lot that's been left unsaid." Harry echoed that. He said, "I'm never going to share that conversation." That moment. That sentence. That's when everything changed. Because what could be so serious that they're willing to go public with so much, but still keep that part hidden? That's what got people talking. And the speculation hasn't stopped since. There's this sense that Meghan knows something more. Something that's not just personal, but powerful. Something tied to the image, the legacy, maybe even the survival of the royal brand. And ever since that interview, people have been trying to figure it out. What is it? Why hasn't she said it? And what would happen if she did? Some believe it's connected to racism inside the institution. Others think it has more to do with internal power dynamics. There are whispers about financial deals, secret investigations, even personal betrayals that never made the press. But here's the thing, Meghan isn't saying. At least, not yet. And that silence. That's what makes this all so fascinating. Because Meghan's not someone who seems to hold back without a reason. Every time she's spoken up, it's been deliberate. Planned. Thought through. She's not throwing punches in the dark, she's choosing her moments. So if there's a truth she's holding on to, you have to ask yourself, why? Let's talk about what we do know. Meghan's turned down some big interview opportunities lately. The kind of opportunities that could have put her front and center again, with full control of the narrative. And yet, she passed. That's not someone trying to stay relevant. That's someone being careful. That's someone waiting. And then there's her body language. People who study this stuff have noticed it. Those tiny hesitations, the way her tone shifts when certain topics come up. It's like there's something on the tip of her tongue, but she's not quite ready to say it. Now let's think about timing. The royal family has had a rough few years. Prince Andrew's scandal. Harry's book. The Queen's passing. The transition of power. All of it has put them under a microscope. And in the middle of all that, Meghan stays quiet. No interviews. No new explosive comments. Just carefully chosen words. Silence, in a way, becomes its own message. But it doesn't stop there. Let's talk about archetypes, Meghan's podcast. When it launched, a lot of people expected royal drama. Maybe not full-on secrets, but at least a deeper dive into what really happened. But it didn't go there. Meghan focused on cultural issues, gender roles, how women are labeled. Important stuff, but noticeably no new stories about palace life. That felt intentional. She had the microphone. She had the attention. She could have said anything. But she didn't. And that choice. It made people start wondering if she's saving something. Something she doesn't want to say until it really matters. Or maybe something she hopes she'll never have to say. Now, some royal insiders say that Meghan's silence isn't just about privacy. It's also about protection. There are claims, again, unconfirmed, that Meghan has what some are calling receipts. Messages. Emails. Notes. Proof of how she was treated behind closed doors. Not rumors. Not opinions. Actual proof. And if she has those receipts, it completely changes the power dynamics. Because it means she's not just telling her side. She can back it up. And apparently, the palace knows this. Some say they're terrified of it. That's why we haven't seen any lawsuits, even after all the interviews. That's why the responses from the royals have been so carefully worded, so vague. They're walking on eggshells. And if that's true, it tells us a lot. There's also this rumor going around that Meghan kept a journal during her time in the UK. A private diary. Full of daily thoughts, feelings, moments. Imagine what's in there. The kind of details that could completely reframe the public narrative. If even a page of that diary ever became public, it would be massive. Now think about this. Most people, when they're hurt or feel wronged, they speak out right away. They vent. They react emotionally. But Meghan? She's been remarkably restrained. And when people hold back for this long, it usually means one of two things: either they've moved on completely, or they're waiting for the right time to speak. And sometimes, the wait itself becomes part of the power. Now imagine you're in Meghan's shoes. You've seen the inside of the palace. You've experienced things the rest of us can only guess about. And you're holding on to something that could change the world's view of an institution that's been around for centuries. Would you tell the truth? Would you blow the whistle, even if it meant damaging relationships, maybe even your own safety or peace? Or would you hold it in, try to let it go, and move forward? It's not an easy call. And that's why people are so obsessed with this. It's not just about what Meghan might say. It's about what any of us would do in her place. Because at the end of the day, this story is about more than royalty. It's about choices. About truth. About how much of our story we choose to share. And how much we keep for ourselves. Now, let's zoom out a little. Think about the bigger picture. If Meghan does have this bombshell secret, whatever it is, why hasn't she used it? She's had every opportunity. Every platform. So maybe, it's not about revenge. Maybe it's about control. Or maybe, just maybe, it's about compassion. Maybe the reason she's quiet, is because she still cares. Maybe she's protecting someone. Maybe the secret isn't just damaging to the institution. It could hurt individuals. People she once considered family. Maybe even someone innocent. And if that's true, then her silence might be the most graceful move of all. Because in a world that rewards outrage, sometimes choosing peace takes more strength than going public. But make no mistake, the power of that untold truth is still there. Hanging in the air. Waiting. watching. And if things ever go too far, if the attacks get too personal, if the pressure becomes too much, Meghan could speak. And when she does, if she does, it could be historic. So the real question is, what happens next? Will the truth ever come out? Will the silence break? Or will this remain one of those mysteries that lives forever in the shadows? Time will tell. But until then, this story is far from over. And the quiet moments, the ones with no headlines, no interviews, no tell-alls, might just be the most powerful parts of all. Now I want to hear what you think. If you were Meghan, what would you do? Would you share the truth with the world? Or would you keep it to yourself, even if it meant letting others misunderstand you? Let's talk about it in the comments. And if this story pulled you in, if it got you thinking, go ahead and hit that like button. It helps more people discover what's really going on beneath the surface. And don't forget to subscribe. Because we'll be right here, keeping our eyes on the quiet moments. Breaking down the whispers behind the headlines. And always sharing stories with heart, not just hype. Thanks for spending time with me today. Stay curious. Stay kind. And I'll see you in the next one.